Scientists from Colossal Biosciences brought back the legendary giant wolf extinct 13,000 years ago.
A giant step for the resurrection of the mammoth. The first mammoth mice are born.
They just announced that they plan to bring more extinct animals back to life.
What's going on? Shit? And what if we talk about how humans are going to end up extinguishing ourselves if we continue like this, right? If scientists keep doing what they're doing now? So a few days ago, it was made public that those people revived the dire wolf, a wolf that had been extinct for 12,500 years. Juana Maria A. Wolf, that was a great predator, and not only that, it was huge. I mean, compared to a normal wolf, like the largest wolf we have today, it's nothing compared to that.
Though when they grow up, they can reach a height of 3.5 feet, 6 feet long, and weigh approximately 150 pounds. I'm scared. They don't stop at reviving mammoths. They also want to bring back the Tanzanian tiger and even a dinosaur. We're gonna end up just like in Jurassic Park, you know? But anyway, before we start with this video, you're going to hear me complaining and gossiping about this information. Because I tell you, there's all kinds of gossip here. Celebrity gossip, Juana Maria, gossip about your boss, Soitali, and even, look, science gossip, prehistoric gossip, gossip, even about mermaids, everything. But anyway, before we start with this video, don't forget to follow me on all my social networks, especially Instagram, where I'm always letting you know about everything. But well, yes, before we start, good little dogs, from good to bad.
Let's look at this case.
Context. It all started thanks to the biotech company Colossal Bioscience based in Dallas, right? They reportedly revived a wolf species that had been extinct for 12,500 years. As I mentioned earlier, the terrible wolf, Beba, is called the terrible wolf for a reason. It's not called the friendly wolf or man's best friend, right? The terrible wolf. They decided to revive the terrible wolf. They didn't decide to revive a small animal first. Their biba that they would revive a prehistoric little mouse, not the terrible wolf. Humans are remarkably intelligent, wow. And they called it the first successfully de-extinct animal in the world. The first... More are coming, my children, don't end there. And well, as people found out, they uploaded a video of the little wolves howling. There was one that was a little off-key, like, you singer, you can't be my life. It was like, oh, and the other one was like, oh, well, not really either. And the wolf coming out of the belly? I saw a future in music for him, I loved it. They said not to be scared because they didn't actually bring the terrible wolf back to life. It's not like he was dead, you know? Susana, they injected something there and it came back to life. No, my dear. What they did was genetically modify a gray wolf to acquire the genetics of this, well, the terrible wolf, because according to the closest ancestor, you know, like the distant cousin of the terrible wolf is this one. And well, what they did was take the DNA from a tooth that was 13,000 years old and a skull that was 72,000 years old. And so they created 3 puppies, terrible wolves, Juana Maria. And what they did was they made 20 modifications in 14 genes, and the modified egg, well, they implanted it in a dog's uterus, and then the dog gave birth to...
a wolf.
I believe there were multiple dogs involved, and while the breed wasn't disclosed, I suspected it might have been a wolf. Are you familiar with the Chajira incident? Not Chajira? Sachemilangano. But yes, baby, was it a bitch that gave birth to them? I love it. Look at the bitches, boss. Who are you, the wolf, the terrible wolf? Who is your mother? Look, is there a chihuahua? Any problem? I'm not just any bitch. And they say we shouldn't worry, right? Because it's really not going to be a terrible wolf, you know? Because it's not a terrible wolf as such. It's going to continue being a common wolf, but with one or another characteristic of a terrible wolf. That's what they say. But one doesn't know how those puppies are going to evolve. Juana Maria, don't you know if what you really did was give superpowers to a normal little wolf? Is it possible that it might not transform into a terrible wolf? Due to the uncertainty of the future, the worst case scenario is a possibility that cannot be ruled out. I don't want to be negative, but what if something bad happens? Oh no, what if this ends up going wrong? It would be wonderful if everything goes well. But it seems like they want to do that with more animals. There could be a mistake at some point in the equation. They don't think about it. Baby, besides, if they are doing it on such powerful animals, you know? In predators, people who hunted you, baby, before people who ate you, baby. At the rate we're going to end up extinguishing humans, you know? We're going to revive all the animals that were extinct at some point, and the ones who are going to end up extinct are humans. And why do we self-extinguish ourselves? Until next time. Instead of reviving that wolf, revive Michael Jackson, damn, revive my grandmother, revive the unfaithful men, extinguish the unfaithful men, don't be reviving the terrible wolf, you know? And me, extinguish the unfaithful men, and suddenly they extinguish my boyfriend, and me, I ended up at least as a multiple verb to be. We listen and we don't judge, we listen and we judge. And me extinguish the unfaithful people, they extinguish me. I tell you, they have been doing this since 2021 when I in 2021 was making TikToks, right? Did I want to be a famous TikToker? TikToks? About that trin, 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 those people who were trin, 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 creating a mammoth, right? Reviving, resurrecting a mammoth. You know about me making TikToks and them with the mammoth, they're resurrecting it. Juana Maria, I tell you, are we asleep or am I the only one asleep? Maybe me? There? Susanna, very attentive to Shakira's gossip when I have to be attentive to the scientist's gossip because those people do have powerful gossip. And as I told you, those people don't want to stop there. They also want to revive them, but they will never succeed in doing so. They will never be born the same way. You know, to bring about change, by making 20 modifications to their DNA, it's not going to turn them into the animal they were before, right? And even less so if it is not raised in the environment that, well, they were born here before. Maybe because they were also talking about that, like here. They are going to grow up being a bit more domestic. Obviously, they are not going to be as wild or not wild at all as they were before. But one does not know how they are going to end up reacting. Those people, Juana Maria, but well, yes, those people also want to revive mammoths. And now the first thing they did, because they do have mammoth DNA, what they did was mammoth mice.
Attention to all units. Emergency calls from the 900 system.
Dying man with apparent heart attack.
The first mammoth mice are born. Miss Jackson, me?
I loved it. That's what they had to do. Instead of reviving the terrible wolf, make a new terrible wolf. You know what I mean? I would love it. I buy it. I have it there in my house. Like, oh yes, I have a mouse mammoth, you know? And the nice thing is that the little mice have like that fur of the mammoths. I really love them. I saw them. I'm like, oh Michelle. But yes, that was the first attempt to put the mammoth's DNA, and it worked quite well, so now they are doing it. But will they do the same as with the wolves? But this time they will use an Asian elephant as a base. From baby Konishiwa, who is their closest relative, right? And they're going to do the same with the dodo. That dodo, I do want them to bring it back because it's so cute, you know? Little things like that, bring it back. But why the mammoth? I mean, what's the need with the mammoth? You don't know if that shit can go wrong, but I tell you, they want to do the same with the dodo. And what are they going to use? It's a bird from the Pacific, some bird that, well, physically resembles, or at least its DNA is quite similar to the DNA of the dodo. Do they also want to do the same with the tiger from Tanzania? It was... Yes, not from Tasmania, from Tasmania. Well, X. They want to do the same with that tiger that supposedly... It's not a dangerous tiger or anything like that. Like, they were quite calm animals. Well, Maria. So they say, like, don't be afraid, but see how one is not going to be afraid if mistakes exist. You don't know. If doing that, maybe in those times that tiger was not dangerous, but doing all that, injecting a real tiger with the DNA of another tiger, ends up coming out there. A Tyrannosaurus Rex, but an abomination ends up coming out there. Guala Maria 1 doesn't know, it's just nothing more. Imagine that one of those animals escapes and it's a danger, not just one. Several of those animals escape. It's a danger to humanity, as it wouldn't be unusual since it already occurred last year. In November of last year, 43 monkeys escaped from a scientific laboratory here in the United States. They assured people not to fear the monkeys, stating they wouldn't transmit diseases and were not dangerous. It's good that it happened with those monkeys, but who knows if the mammoths or anything else escapes now. Mistakes can happen and those people can escape, you know? They might eat the scientists and then us. I used to worry about robots. I worried because a car runs me over in the street. Now I'm worried about bumping into the terrible wolf out there on the street. One day we walk normally and we bump into the Asian mammoth elephant on the street, and one, konnichiwa, don't drink.
No, that's a waste of time.
You know what makes me laugh the most but also scares me even more? The edits the ones my little ones make. They asked if they would eat that day when all this was revealed, as they started to play that song like a recurring theme, saying no repeatedly. And they first put the puppies like a terrible wolf, and then a dinosaur comes out. Shit, don't scare me. And also it makes me laugh because they came out, what's his name? Like about werewolves, you know? But they were coming out like that, videos like that of werewolves throwing shit at us.
Foolish humans, your ineptitude anticipates your downfall.
And a bitch who calls you bitch, which is the worst. That video came up for me today. The first video that came up for me this morning was that one. Imagine what a way to wake up, human of mine.
Foolish humans.
I guess I am a little shitty sometimes, but you don't have to treat me like this, werewolf. And well, with all this, the fear of people that ends, end up reviving the dinosaurs, which I tell you, wouldn't be something strange that happened. Because those people obviously tried to revive the dinosaurs. They have succeeded so far. According to quotes, they have not succeeded. Who knows if they are really doing something, but they say they are not. They themselves said that it would be necessary to find original dinosaur DNA, and that is practically impossible. Because their extinction occurred millions of years ago, and what we have of the dinosaurs has none of their DNA, you know? Are they like stones, the things we have from them? So yes, you can't get DNA from there, so they can't be cloned. And in quotes, you know, because you say, So far, technology hasn't been able to extract DNA from certain things, or they haven't found DNA, but what if they do? Why those people? If they said that, it's because they tried. If they said that, it's because they thought of doing it and they were going to do it. They ended up not doing it due to inability, not unwillingness. That's the scary part, you know? That these people, the moment they can revive or do anything with a dinosaur, they're going to do it without fear of success. But it's a bit amusing. Without all this, we would have had a comeback long ago. About dinosaurs, that the dinosaurs coming back like, bitch, did you really believe that you had extinguished me with the meteorite, bitch? Did you really think you devoured?
Because between being and not being, I am
a dirty bitch, that's what you are. And well, I tell you, before I was afraid of technology, and now, well, you know, I was afraid of technology because of all that robot stuff. They're constantly advancing with all this robot technology, you know? And at some point, I wouldn't be surprised if robots ruled us. Do you know that my boss is a robot? Yes, but now, with all this animal stuff, I tell you, I don't feel it's bad, because it's good that, well, technology advances, that science advances, but I feel that's good. Even though they say their approach to all of this is to do these kinds of things, to see if they can, if at some point, I don't know, polar bears end up going extinct, well, revive them, bring them back to Earth, because yes, now many animals that are here are going extinct, they are disappearing. And that's like the #1 complaint from people. Instead of focusing on extinct animals, focus on those that can no longer thrive in the current ecosystem. Animals that you won't even be able to release, they won't be able to anymore. Do you know how to live like a normal animal, that they are going to be a danger to humanity in general? Instead of that, why don't you focus on the animals we already have, you know? In preserving the well-being, well, of the animals we already have on Earth, the well-being of humans. How about that? How about taking care of us humans, baby? Don't you think your own species, darling? No, they say no. In the next stage, will we bring the dinosaurs? Yes. It's just that, as they themselves said, they have not been able to do that with the dinosaurs. Because they haven't found anything that has their DNA. But the moment they find something that has dinosaur DNA, coming soon. My neighbor, a tyrant Rex good morning neighbor, you know, like this. This is how we're going to get around. Juana Maria from Jurassic Park, I don't know, Juana Maria, this is it. With this video, what do I know? I would ask scientists to revive my desire to go to the gym, but I don't know if that's possible. And me, please, if it's possible there, but well, yes, Juana Maria, this is it. For this video, write me in the comments any other type of video you want me to make. This video was quite random. This isn't my typical video, but if you enjoy it, hit the like button to let me know, and I'll create more random content like this. I often discuss these topics at home, but I'm not sure if they would interest you. Would you like me to cover them in videos? Although this terrible wolf is already a celebrity, it's not just celebrity gossip. Yes, Juana Maria, it is a serious matter. X. If you've made it to this point in the video, you are the real deal. Yes, you are. So comment me the emoji of a dog, or comment me. Well, no, because if you comment your bitch and me, what? Oh no, comment me, then yes, the emoji of a puppy, or put me puppy, or put me. I'm a little dog, I'm a puppy. To know that you got to this point in the video, read your comment and say you are a true little dog? Yes, you are. Why? Because you commented here, a puppy or a wolf? Yes, Juan Maria, I agree with that. Because if I write the names of the people who comment on my videos the most and who I also see most attentive on my Instagram, so go to my Instagram to give me support too, because over there I'm also watching over you. Juana Maria, I go into your profiles to see your support. And I say, who is this person who always supports me? Behind? So yes, kisses on the anus. Thank you for watching my videos. Love you all. Take care and beware of the wolves and mammoths. Things are coming.